Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, tonight on the newest edition of the Now Granted podcast. Sorry, without lacking audio and coming from dark side of Pacific time, I am one of your co-hosts, Michael Imperin. Joined with me tonight. Damn it, I stuttered. Is my other co-host Ryan Hoskins. We have an absence of Kevin, and tonight we have a special guest, Miss Madison, who is the executive director from the California Federation of College Republicans, a new alternative organization to the well-known and well-established California College Republicans. So she's here tonight to discuss and talk about her new organization, why they started the organization, and then tonight, at the behest of one of her co-hosts, who's not here at the moment, but he will, arrive on time, or arrive whenever he believes on time is, we're going to have a new segment coming up for you tonight. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my co-host and to our very special guest. So, welcome everybody. How is everyone doing? I apologize, I stuttered again. I know I wrote this all down, and I am just terrible. So, I'm doing okay. How are you both doing this evening?
Well, I just wanted to kind of make one correction. I'm not sure we can claim that CCR is still well established. I mean, they're established, but,
Well, they are the well-established, organization in the state, I would imagine, at least when it comes to these sort of things. But I have been out of the loop, so maybe it's for...
Technically, I guess they're established.
So, okay, well, I think that is best for our guests to kind of explain that whole, I think, predicament. Well, not predicament, but just the idea of establishment and stuff like that. But nevertheless, how are you doing, our special guest?
Doing good. Been a long day. Been up since 6:30, so.
Okay. I've been up since 4, but that's just because I go do my day-to-day job. I'm not doing anything special,
Imagine having a job.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
It'd be great.
Actually, I've been at the same job now for a little over 7 years. I know I'd say this on the first episode, or at least the first episode of this new season. But it's actually now past the 7-year mark since last Sunday. So
did your boss end up marking the occasion at all? Did your boss end up remembering? I remember you said something.
They're just like, what, really? It's been 7 years? Yeah, it's been 7 years. You were such a baby when we started. Yeah, I was a baby, but not anymore. Well, I mean, how do we kick this off? So, just I would say, what's the kind of overall rundown of this organization? Who's part of it? What do you do? I mean, just kind of advertise yourself. I think that's to start off with, and then I think more further in depth and explanations can come later.
Yeah, so, essentially, this new organization, the California Federation of College Republicans, was created to serve as an alternative to the California College Republicans. A lot of us, I guess specifically, to be exact, 22 chapters, decided that they were not happy with the way CCR was going, the way and so they decided, I guess, a couple waves to decharter. So we had about 10 chapters decharter at first in January, and then recently within the past 2 weeks, 10 more dechartered, and then there's been a few that kind of joined at the end that weren't on the letter officially. But essentially the goal is to just kind of return back to what CCR is supposed to be. We want basically a bottom-down sort of government. We want the general, the members to have the most power, chapter chairs have the second most, and then executive kind of had the least. There's no judicial board, there's no, there's not really, we try to make our bylaws as best as possible to make sure that there's no corruption, and it wouldn't allow for that, and there would be punishments and repercussions if an executive board member were to do something. But essentially who's on it, I'm the executive director. Now, who is the chair of the Berkeley College Republicans, is our chair. Ryan Gardner, who is the chair of the Davis College Republicans, is our co-chair. And then we've picked it's similar to how Revive's composition was, because we did want to get those people from both sides. So if anyone's familiar with like the 2017 Rebuild Thrive kind of separation, we have like about a good amount of like Thrive or Unite kind of people and Rebuild kind of like Rise kind of people. So basically the goal going into this is just to like recruit more Republicans and make sure that we're ready to go for 2020, because a lot of us couldn't function in the organization effectively in order to be productive for 2020. As we saw, there were a lot of deployments that CCR put on over the summer and last fall, 20 people at each. And that's because it was like personal problems with the chair, with the executive board, and like no one really wanted to go to Orange County to see people they didn't want to see. So, you know, there's that kind of problem. Am I missing anything?
I don't think you're missing anything. So you what
question?
What chapters are with you guys, chartered with you guys?
So I'll give you a full list. It's on our website, which is cafcr.com. So I'll break it down through regions.
Okay, cool.
If my computer will load. Okay. Really like our website. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, it does look nice.
Do you want me to wait for you to?
No, you get started.
Gotcha. Okay. So in the northern region, so our regions are Northern, Bay Area, Central Valley, Central Coast, Southern, Los Angeles, and San Diego. So since Chico State was kind of the only chapter that was in Northern, and UC Davis is the only chapter that came from CCR from Capital Region, we integrated them into one region.
That makes sense.
So, what?
I said that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it just made more sense. Chico was kind of isolated, and they're a lot closer to Sacramento than most other northern schools are, like Humboldt. I guess Humboldt's like 5 hours away from Chico. So the northern vice chair had a lot of work in the past, and they still have work, but it's a little easier to get around in that region now. We have UC Davis, Chico, the American River College, which is a new one we added. They were reluctant to join CCR because I guess allegedly there was some kind of coup happening there that CCR was like trying to interfere with their chapter.
Yeah.
I don't know everything specifically. Like, I don't want to make up anything, but I heard that Ariana was trying to interfere with that chapter and get them involved in CCR, but they were not having it, and it just sounded very like UCSD kind of to me. So I don't know about that, because that's what their chair told me, just briefly. But so the Bay Area, we have UC Berkeley, UC Santa Cruz, Cabrillo College, and St. Mary's College. And then Central Valley, we have UC Merced. Central Coast, we have UC Santa Islands, Cal Lutheran. Southern, we see Riverside, Orange Coast College. Los Angeles region, we have USC, UCLA, Pepperdine, Whittier, College of the Canyons. And then in San Diego, we have UC San Diego, Michaela McNally's UC San Diego, University of San Diego, CSU San Marcos, and San Diego State.
So obviously, I know most about the southern region. So other than Cal State Fullerton, and I guess so, really, other than UCI, what southern region schools are still chartered with CCR? Chapman?
Yeah, so Chapman's one of them, and then the other one is Saddleback.
Okay.
But from my understanding, Saddleback didn't submit proper credentialing materials. They didn't submit their 20 members, so they're chartered on paper, I guess, but not really.
Can't Chemo just make it okay now or something with new powers he has, or emergency powers or something? I don't know.
Apparently, yeah. So from my understanding, I'm not really paying attention to their convention too much because I'm not going. But from my understanding, that resolution will be voted on by the General Assembly this weekend at their convention. So I don't think those powers are in effect yet.
Wow. It's just crazy what's going on.
It's quite interesting, to say the least.
So you were talking a little bit about different things to keep what happened with CCR from happening with CFCR. Can you kind of outline some of that? I know that some of the viewers might be interested in that.
Yeah, I actually have our bylaws that I'm pulling up. They'll be made public soon. We were formatting them and making sure everything was good from our meeting on Saturday.
Yeah, well, everything's really new, so
yeah, exactly.
So, I do have a question. While you're looking,
I'm trying to pull some excerpts here.
If you don't mind me, if you don't mind, while you're looking up your bylaws and stuff like that, now, like with CCR, like I said, that they're well established because there's there's a political backing, there's backing behind from the party, right? So I was wondering, does your organization at this point have any backing from the party, or is there stuff that are there individuals that you're working with, or I don't know, how are you getting the ball rolling? Or are you going to be an organization, or is your organization going to be separate from the party?
So, I mean, of course, our goal is to eventually integrate with the party. I mean, we are college Republicans. We're Republicans first and foremost. So we want to have that backing eventually. Right now, I can give you the rundown of what happened at CRP, but party convention. But I mean, essentially, they said that CCR is the permanently chartered organization of the California Republican Party. There's a few that have permanent charterships, such as the Republican Women's Federated, but right now they are the youth organization that is permanently chartered. So we are going to apply for chartership in the future, but we weren't able to at this convention because, I mean, why would the party take a chance on a brand new organization? That's not realistic. But basically right now we're focusing on getting everything together as far as banking, that kind of finance, registering with the state. But our main focus is the national organization, so the College Republican National Committee. Okay,
that makes sense. So getting chartered with them rather than the state party right away.
Yeah. Basically, what we were kind of told was CRNC, if they saw that there was a majority of some sort and that we've gone through the proper channels to try and rectify problems, because they're very aware of the problems that were internal in CCR, and they said essentially if we go through the proper channels and their credentials decides that we're more of a legitimate organization than they are, then potentially they could consider chartering us instead.
And I'm sorry, I think you cut out. Was this the CRNC or CRP, the California?
CRNC.
Okay. So, is it an either or situation? Can they only register one organization, or could they do both?
Yeah, from my understanding, there can only be one state federation in each state.
Okay.
Why is that, do you suppose? Or, I mean, just a question.
We can charter in addition to CCR, so.
Well, I was going to ask is, why is it, when it comes to something like this, why is there only one state federated organization? I don't know. It's just.
I would imagine most states are so small they could barely support one organization.
Well, I mean, this is California. This is the largest state in the union. So.
We'd be the exception. That's the problem. There's California, Texas, and New York are the only ones that could, support multiple organizations.
Yeah, probably. It's probably just kind of within their constitution, it made sense because the majority of states would only have one. So, and they probably didn't foresee anyone kind of branching off like this. But yeah, I mean, I can only assume. I don't know the actual reason. But yeah, I mean, we're the only one, I think, that has above 20 chapters.
So even
I mean, I'm sure Texas is close.
You're breaking up a little bit. Do you want to just send us the audio rather than the video? Maybe that'll help.
Yeah. Is that better? Maybe.
Yeah, much. And then am I not sending video right now?
You're in, at least for me, you're in my corner. So,
Yeah.
it looks like it's just going to be you.
Well, right now we're not showing up on. I'm not showing up on OBS.
No. So the only thing is that you're showing. So it's just going to be. I don't know. It depends on I think who's talking the most at this point.
Okay, interesting.
Between the two of you. So,
we'll have to figure it out for the future.
Yeah, I think something. I think another technical issue, but. Alrighty. Well, we're gonna have to go with gears, squeaking at this point. So.
That's all right.
All right. So I had asked my question earlier. I think we got a little sidetracked. What were some of the differentiating factors between CFCR and CCR that wouldn't permit the kind of craziness that's happened over the last year and a half with CCR?
Yeah. So one big thing. I'm gonna make sure we get this right. Well, first of all, our Constitution's 3 pages and our bylaws are about 11 or 12.
Oh wow, that's significantly shorter than CCR.
They're pretty much cut and dry. We've been working on this Constitution and bylaws for pretty much since Christmas. So we've kind of gone through pretty much everything we could possibly go through, as far as just debate on what's going to work best, what's going to mitigate those problems that we had in the past. I think the Constitution. So we have a different way of handling ethics disputes. Obviously, we don't have any kind of anything crazy like the judicial board.
Yeah, well, and that was even a more recent addition to CCR.
Yeah, but I think that was mostly kind of what undid CCR.
Okay.
Instrumental. So the board of directors, we're actually using the board of directors to make decisions within the organization. General assembly is very important, but we can only meet once a year, whereas board of directors, we could have a teleconference. Much easier because it's more manageable.
And who are the board of directors?
Yeah, so the board of directors, in CCR, it was the executive committee as well as the chapter chairs. We've changed it so it's only the chapter chairs and the executive director.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so the chair doesn't have a voting position unless they're the chair of their chapter.
Gotcha.
And then the executive director just serves as the chair of the board of directors.
That's
Which
cool.
makes sense, because the executive director does plan the board of directors meeting.
Yeah.
So here's, I'll take an excerpt from our Constitution and the discipline section. So Section 1, a chapter's membership may be revoked by a 2/3 vote at a regularly called board of directors meeting. So board of directors decides if a chapter's charter could be revoked, instead of this ethics committee. And the reasoning for that is, think about it. There's 30 chapter chairs. It's less likely that someone's going to kind of gang up on one chapter and kind of split into partisanship or being shills for one side or the other.
Yeah.
Because there really is no side in this organization. It's just don't have any government overreach.
Mm-hmm.
Charges of misconduct by members of the executive committee will be brought forth to the board of directors. So there's no definition of misconduct, but essentially if the board of directors is pissed off at an executive board member, they can kick them off.
Okay.
Board of directors may impose a censure, suspension, or expulsion for misconduct of the executive committee. Punishments placed on officers may be amended or rescinded at annual convention. So basically, it kind of comes down to General Assembly in that case.
Okay, cool. I just got word Kevin's ready to go, so let me add him into the call real quick. Sorry to break.
Kevin always shows up when he's needed, right? He's never late. Is Kevin a wizard? We should ask him. This is a very pertinent question.
It's like Gandalf, right?
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. I think Kevin's a wizard. So now, is he a wizard that conjures cheap tricks?
All right, so we're calling him. He should hop on here just a second.
So, so we don't have dead air. Going back when you're saying that the judicial board of CCR kind of like undid CCR, I don't know. It kind of seemed, at least if I remember correctly from our conversation with Chemo, I get the feeling is like, and not to be disrespectful, but the feeling I get when it comes to like organizations like this is, how may I say, I don't know. It kind of seems like they're LARPing, or like,
Yes.
and it seems like everyone's LARPing in all this, and there's just a couple people who just take it too far and just make it very unfun, or just very unenjoyable for everybody.
Pretty much.
That's what I get.
Because we didn't really have an organization without Robert's rules, and so we came into like that kind of everyone had like PTSD from chemo and the Robert's rules during our meeting that we had during CRP for our organization. They were like, well, why are we doing it like this? It's like, I mean, I understand, like, chemo took Robert's rules to a whole new level and, like, made people just have a bad taste in their mouth about it. But, I mean, Robert's rules does run many organizations, and it's the only standardized system that we could use unless we make up our own system, which people would complain about, or use, like, legal procedure, which is way more difficult.
Yeah, because thousands of years of legal precedent to comb through for that. But
Exactly.
I don't know. I just seems like when it comes to the conversations like this, and kind of like looking back, it kind of just to me, it's just we're all LARPing, or we all were, depending if you're in an organization or not. I'm not anymore, so just kind of like I don't know, you're just kind of in the organization, and then there's people there that just don't make it fun anymore. And yeah. I don't know. That's kind of my feeling on it. I don't know if you share the same, and maybe, but that's just kind of how I feel on it.
Well, I think you kind of got a bit of a jaded view of it, Mikey.
Yeah. Very jaded.
I have some background because I was on the judicial board, and I helped institute it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you're in an organization. You're on an executive board with people that you trust, people that you've looked up to, people that you've worked with, and you trust that these institutions are for the greater good. Because the main argument that I saw for the judicial board was that in our old constitution, the chairman was the judge, jury, executioner of any ethics violations. So the chair could decide like whatever happened to whomever, and I just thought that was an abuse of power.
Yeah.
And so, another problem with the judicial board was that when we rolled everything up into packages of amendments when we amended the Constitution, and so a lot of people, and I don't blame them, didn't read what packages of amendments were for, and they just voted to amend the entire Constitution and they didn't know what they were voting on. I mean, to be fair, there were a lot of people that didn't go to the town hall that morning, but I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, a lot of it was convoluted, just very, just long doctrine and long documents of, what this was going to be. And then, so I was actually also a justice on the judicial board. And, I thought, I'll be there, and I trust chemo. And it was very naive way of thinking.
Yeah.
But I trusted that it wouldn't be bad.
So, in what ways has the judicial board been used? And since CFCR doesn't have one, obviously it can't work out that way. Just so we kind of have a little understanding.
I can kind of give you the background. So there was a judiciary committee because we had to amend the Constitution to create a board, whereas the chair can create any kind of committee. So the judiciary committee was. It was basically an ethics committee, and the two cases they oversaw were the Steinwinder case and the Leibowitz case. So those are their first two. And essentially what they did was Nick Steinwinder, who was membership under the advanced slate, he didn't turn over the membership list, I guess, quote unquote CCR property within the confines of the Constitution, like 30 days or something. And so Chemo was like, well, you're violating the Constitution. So we're going to kick you out of the org, essentially, because they wanted to get rid of him because he was elected as co-chair due to some kind of like technicality where Christian Chacon wasn't able to be elected.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and then Leibowitz was a similar, I mean, not similar to where he violated anything, but there was this problem where there was like an internal CCR constitution or an external CCR constitution, and Greg Liu was running for San Diego Regional Vice Chair that year, and he was told he didn't have to submit documents because at that time in the Constitution, SD was still a part of Southern Region, so he would have just been appointed. And so Leibowitz said, oh, well, I, submitted my intent to run, and they said he was the only eligible officer to be voted in at that time.
Okay.
So those are the first two. And then as far as, like, in recent times, basically the Judicial Board has been used to kind of stick their nose in things where they don't belong. Explain me.
It looks like there's some audio interference, at least on my end. So I apologize for stepping in, but I don't know.
That's all right.
Can anyone hear that too, or is it just me?
Yeah, I was hearing it pretty loud.
Hey, Kevo, I know you're here now.
Oh, yeah.
Is that you?
Oh, it might be. I have a space heater running.
Okay.
It has a little hum to it. Yeah, if I turn it off, I'm going to be freezing, so...
Oh.
Is it unbearable?
It's getting a little loud.
Okay.
But hey, welcome, Kevin.
Yeah, by the way, I'm
guest.
here.
So yes, you are here. So I was asking if you're like a wizard because you arrive when you always arrive when you are needed or something like that. Maybe I'm forgetting my Lord of the Rings reference.
Would you summon me?
Did
you say my name 3 times?
Or did you just show up? And the question is, now that your space heater's on and off, are you a conjurer of cheap tricks, my good sir?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it means either. I just saw it in a movie a long time ago. So, but that's moving on. So okay, so we got their last host.
Yeah.
So the
Hello,
full
Maddie,
crew's here now. So my apologies for the interruptions on that.
No worries.
Yeah.
But yeah, going on with the more recent, I guess.
Let me face the heater the other way.
The problem with the more recent, like, of the Judicial Board were basically, what happened was there was the whole.
Is it Eric?
No, I'm on a podcast.
Oh, sorry.
Anyways, basically what happened was, the whole UCSD thing happened back in June, so. Immediately, as a result of that whole situation, Dylan Martin decided to start a new club and submit credentials that were stolen from that club. So the Judicial Board basically said, well, I think we should take that decision away from credentials. And so credentials voted in a meeting to commit that to the Judicial Board to adjudicate, which wasn't necessary.
Okay.
And then, of course, my trial, the second UCSD trial, because Michaela at the first trial, or the first case, was basically like, I never asked to be a part of this, and I don't believe that it's going to be a fair process, so I'm not going to even participate. And so their narrative was, well, Michaela could have saved her club, and she didn't. And then with me, it was a stupid bylaw amendment that I actually helped author, but again, didn't think it was going to be used in this way for personal, attacks. Which naive of me again.
Yeah.
But.
Well, I mean, we were also naive about the whole process. I was an early supporter of Ariana myself, so I totally understand.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone at some point was on Ariana's side or could kind of see that side, and after being kind of put through the ringer, it sucks that I didn't realize it until later that things were going wrong, but. I mean, at least we all came around at some point.
Yeah, I wish that CCR could have been saved, but unfortunately, it's kind of past that at this point, obviously, and
that was a big conversation at CRP.
Yeah, well, and I like the direction that you guys are going with this federation. One of the big concerns is kind of having an overarching bureaucracy that just gets in the way of actually going out and being active in the community. So it sounds like you guys really just want to empower the individual chapters to, go out and do their own thing. And if the state org can help, great. If not, then, just do your thing, get stuff done.
I mean, yeah, we just want to make we want to make CFCR, fun. No one joined this to be a LARP and to get in trouble and to deal with drama. We just want to go knock doors, we want to go table on campus, and we want to have socials. That's all.
Yeah. So are you guys gonna have a convention or what's the plan for that?
Yeah, so we're planning a convention for late April. The location is not yet confirmed, but everyone will hear as soon as that's confirmed. We should have everything kind of set up in the next few weeks. But yeah, we're gonna have fair elections because we're all interim officers as of Saturday.
Okay.
We were just appointed by the board of directors because that's the only body that currently exists. So at convention, we'll be able to use the Constitution and those procedures, and people can elect whoever they want. They can elect the interim officers. They can run, but of course, we're going to be running for what we are interim right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you have any? Do you have kind of an opposing slate that's forming, or?
Nothing that I've seen. I don't see any kind of a slate because most people left because they liked the direction that we were going to take it, and I assume that most of these chapters were planning on voting for Revive, and the composition's very similar to Revive. So, people can run if they want. I haven't heard any expression of someone running against the current board, but of course they're welcome.
Yeah, of course. We're all about free and fair elections.
Yeah, exactly, and not punishing people for who they vote for.
Well, that brings me up to something that myself and Mikey actually worked towards a little bit at the last convention. Kind of a secret ballot, because I feel like that was a big reason why a lot of people voted the way they did at the last convention. Is that something you guys have thought about?
Yeah, so I think we actually talked to Brooke, and Brooke was mentioning that a secret ballot would be beneficial. I'm trying to see. I think we voted to table that discussion of how ballots would be counted, but some things that I suggested were things that I suggested were in my sorority we do a Google document. We do some kind of it's like a Google survey, and so for each position we have a ballot that we send out to an email list so we know who's in the room, because we have a Google survey to see attendance, and then all those emails from that survey we send out, and we make sure we have 150 sisters that are voting or whatever, and then for the president we send out one ballot, and you can vote for this person. Usually you can vote for this person, and you can fill in. So I suggest that as an idea, maybe if people wanted to bring their laptops to convention. Not sure if that's something that appeals to them, but
I feel like you could do it on your phone or a tablet as well.
Yeah, you can do it on your phone as well, and it wouldn't be that long if we have 20 officers to elect or anything.
Yeah. What was that, Kevin?
Oh, I said you can vote using Kahoot.
See, I was suggesting Korsky, because that's what we use at State, and because there's not for the free trial. There's a free trial for a week or something, and it has a GPS location, so you would have to be in the convention hall to participate. Oh. But I brought that up at BOD in August, and Alan, the chair of Riverside, said there's a GPS emulator app you can download and cheat the election. I don't know. So I guess if you really wanted to go that far, but
well, what you would do is you would just get everybody registered and then double check the list of people that have actually showed up and then send out to those people.
I mean, of course, there would be like several like sign-ins and double checking of like who's there, but those are just a few for electronic. Some people suggested just doing a secret paper ballot, which I feel like would take forever, and also you'd have to trust the secretary to count those correctly.
That's
you know, and like not saying that our secretary isn't trustworthy, but I mean, we don't trust the government. Like that's the whole reason we left. So
yeah, well, there was a lot of shadiness going on at conventions run by both sides.
Exactly.
Because the whole reason I supported Ariana so much initially was, I didn't get to vote at the first convention that I went to.
Me either.
That was really upsetting,
Many people couldn't. It was like terrible.
Yep. And I went up there with the understanding that I was good to go, and all of a sudden only three of us. Kevin, you were one of them, right?
Yes, I was.
Were able to vote out of the 11 delegates that we sent. So I understand the issues with voting.
Oh, if I remember correctly, because that was in the spring, 2017? Yeah.
Yeah. 17.
The fall at the convention at the
second convention, part two.
At part two, I was supposed to vote on behalf of, I believe, Brooke or someone, right, to be an abstention or to be an extension.
Yeah.
A proxy. There we go. I was supposed to be a proxy. I wasn't allowed to vote. My buddy Brian wasn't allowed to vote, and I think Kevin got kicked out too.
Yeah.
And so we had to wander the hotel for I don't know how many hours.
you were part of you were a pretty big part of the organization. Can you kind of explain what the issues were with that? Because I'm still not even completely clear why they had so many issues with voting.
Oh, you mean just the voting in general?
Yeah, well, just how they how I was denied it at the first one, and how people were denied it at the part two of 2017. Do you know anything?
I mean, I can't like I wasn't even going to go to CCR in 2017. I was like, I don't know what this is. I don't know if I should even go. My president was Jordan Dennison, who was running for executive director for Thrive, and he was doing a lot of shady shit within my club. So I wasn't really like feeling like I wanted to go. I couldn't vote either because the chair, Jordan Dennison, was in charge of apportioning delegates, and he didn't give one to me because he knew I was a rebuild supporter. So I mean, the only thing I know for certain is that SDSU, we received 24 delegates somehow. And keep in mind that you get like 3 delegates for your first 20, and then you get 1 delegate for each additional 10 signups. So I don't understand how we had 24 delegates because we didn't even have 24 people coming to our meetings. So, I mean, I don't want to put. Go ahead.
Was that based on like email lists, or I hear that thrown around a lot?
Allegedly. I mean, I never saw what our email list looked like to this day. I don't know what it looked like, but I don't think we had that many people. Like, I don't think we had over 500 people on our email list.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, but because it's pretty rare. But yeah, it was just. I think it was just kind of up to the discretion of credentials and/or the chair at that time. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to say Ivy was like purposefully doing it or that she did it all, but that's my assumption.
Yeah, that's the feeling I got at the convention, but I'm open to being wrong about that. So.
I mean, Berkeley had got no delegates, and there's no like everyone gets a minimum of 3, so that made no sense.
Yeah. So how is the process going to be different with CFCR as far as
for delegates?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a little bit of a debate at our meeting, but our delegates are going to be 1-to-1. So the chair, and it's basically kind of an honor system, but we can, I guess, kind of further investigate if we see something fishy. But essentially, you're going to have a email list, but the email list will be, it'll be members that actually come to your meetings. So for every 3 meetings, like let's say, Ryan and Kevin go to 3 Fullerton meetings, then you will be put on that list because you're now a member, as defined in the CFCR bylaws.
Okay.
So members are any like registered Republican that goes to 3 meetings and is a student.
Okay.
So it would be up to the chairs, I guess, kind of discretion But I mean, everyone who goes to convention should have a delegate because they've been to 3 meetings.
Yeah, and if you can prove that you're a student there and you showed up to the convention, you should have some kind of say in the organization. That makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. So, if you're a big part of your club, you're probably going to be, want to have some kind of say in the organization. And this way, everyone that goes to convention will vote. And there are no proxies.
So there's no proxies, so it's just about who can get people up there?
Yes.
And do you know where your convention's going to be held, or is that kind of TBD?
It's a little TBD. We were initially planning for Santa Cruz, but there were some problems with, they wanted to have an administrator at every single event for the whole convention weekend, and there's no administrator that could have made it for their whatever club advisor or whatever. So we're trying to work it out, but we might have to relocate.
Gotcha.
It's a probability that we will.
That makes sense. You just got to work with the admin.
Yeah, they're not being purposefully discriminatory. It's a matter of availability.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. It's not exactly in the middle of the state, but it's just a few hour drive.
Well, I mean, we were so shook about Visalia because we had submitted a bid for Santa Cruz, and they were like, well, all of Matt's supporters are in the Bay Area, so nope, we're going to do it in Visalia because it's closer to Orange County, where all of Chemo's supporters are. Yeah,
well, that was for CCR, just to be clear. We don't.
Sorry, for CCR convention, which will be held this weekend.
And where is that going to be held?
It's Visalia.
That is in Visalia?
Yes, that's for sure in Visalia. It's it's about 2 hours from the Grapevine, about 4 hours from LA.
Yeah.
So 3 hours, I guess, from LA, 4 from Orange County.
Yeah, that is significantly closer than Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz, yeah.
That's basically the drive we made up to San Jose.
Exactly.
For CCR that I went to. All right, yeah, I like the one delegate, one vote thing. I mean, it does mean that the clubs that can fundraise to get more people up there, and that the clubs in the area get a little bit of an advantage. But overall, I like the idea.
Yeah, I mean, CCR has always been, you can have a million emails on your list, but it doesn't really matter if you have 20 delegates if you can only bring 10 people to convention.
Yeah.
Now that we've eliminated proxies, it's literally you can't have 20 delegates and bring 10 people and each of them carry a proxy. It's you lose those if you can't come.
It just seems shady, even if there wasn't anything going on, people showing up with 2 votes and a blue and a yellow card and all that stuff. It just seemed, just gives you, has a bad taste to it,
Well, and then, I remember when we were all running for Rise for CCR 2018, Ariana was like, oh, just look at your student reg, just put all the emails you possibly can on your email list. So, how is that fair,
Yeah. Well, and you can, who knows what counts as what isn't a valid or isn't a valid email,
Yeah, exactly, because they're not going to email every single one.
Yeah.
Or give a phone call to every single one.
Yeah, well, and if you're doing big events and stuff, you can get tons of emails.
Oh yeah, exactly.
All right, so Kevin, you kind of jumped on a little bit late here. You want to just say hello, and do you have any questions?
Yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, I do have a quick question. I don't, maybe you covered this already. So I think you guys are bigger than CCR as it is right now. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. What would be the incentive for, let's say, a self-sufficient club to join CFCR?
So essentially, basically, we encourage any Republican organization to be involved. We're going to have, when we have statewide deployments, we're not going to say, well, Fullerton isn't chartered with us, so they can't come. everyone's welcome to come. We don't care. UCI is welcome to come to anything we do. It doesn't matter. The point is that CFCR and CCR was supposed to be a network of Republican clubs. So the only incentive that you would have to join our organization is if you wanted to run for a leadership position or have any kind of say in how we run our organization.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, but I mean, we're not going to force people to join. We just want to make sure that we wanted to make sure in the beginning that any club that was associated with CCR was very sure about their decision to associate with CCR because of their platform, controversy, the leadership, and it wasn't a matter of you should leave CCR to join us. It's like you should leave CCR to make sure that you're not being negatively affected as a chair or any of your members are being negatively affected because of that association.
Very cool. I like that. You mentioned platform. Is CFCR going to come out with a platform?
No, no platform.
No? Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we have no platform committee. None of that.
So you're going to just leave that up to the individual clubs to, decide for themselves or not?
Yeah, so kind of going back to what Revive was kind of about, we're supportive of all Republicans. There's like this misconception that like UC Davis are like more moderate Republicans or quote unquote liberal, which is not true. But in any case, there are some members that are pro-life in various chapters across the state, and I don't think that should, like, if you're a different kind of Republican, as long as you're working to get Republican officials elected, it doesn't matter, unless you're like a crazy Nazi or something. But
yeah, of course, we all disavow that nonsense.
Yeah, of course.
Just to be clear.
Well,
yes.
do we?
Yeah,
I do. I don't know about you, Mike.
I hope we all do.
Don't be speaking for everyone before everyone's spoken. But no, just kidding. But but I think just to really kind of get back to it, I think developing an organization where the individual clubs and like the individual presidents or chapter heads really more or less have control and more or less have autonomy to do what they need to do or what they want to do. I mean, I thought that was the point of, I don't know, this whole process to begin with. But maybe this is why I have a very negative view, because it just gets to the point, and maybe it comes down to money. I can imagine in my head where you need like a large apparatus to kind of keep clubs, I would say, in line, just as a figure of speech, especially when money is being dished out, and doled out to get certain things done. But I don't know. It just seems like it was just a little too much with the previous organization. So I don't know. I kind of like it where, I don't know, college clubs can just be college clubs.
Yeah, I mean, from my understanding and from what I observed while I was like, for a very brief moment in time, the membership director, clubs aren't really getting money from CCR. They don't actually get direct donations. The only thing that CCR really provided were tabling supplies, and those were a little scarce because most of the tabling supplies came from the national org because but I mean, they just wanted to have control just for the sake of saying that they were in charge of something, in my opinion.
Okay, so it wasn't really.
So
really
it wasn't
anything,
like clubs.
It wasn't like really anything like tangible then. It was just.
I mean, yeah, it was more like, if we like you, we'll help you get Milo. We know lawyers. It wasn't like, here's $5 for your club.
Oh, well, that just makes it worse then.
Exactly.
It's really like just going back to my previous analogy. It's just
there's no benefit.
Yeah, exactly. There's really no benefit. You're just ruining everybody's fun.
Yeah, essentially. So
there's a lot of benefits to being part of a statewide organization. Obviously the statewide organization. You guys are going to know lawyers and people that could help you get people on campus, but you're not going to just dole it out to the favorite few clubs that exist.
Yeah, kind of. It was basically like kind of who you knew,
yeah.
Or if Ariana wanted to help you, so.
Well, I do have a question. Just because because you brought his name's been brought up? Is Milo still still affiliated with the CCR chapter or the CCR organization?
He was never
so
specifically.
Champion released many documents on their website. I haven't read through them that much because I was like, this is ridiculous. This is a LARP. Why do you have a platform? And no one's going to read all this information. But essentially, Champion was kind of trying to partner chapters with Milo. I mean, it seemed like they were still trying to use that resource. And I think Milo was good a few years ago, but right now we don't need Milo anymore. That's not a provocateur, I guess.
Well, he did a great job for a long time of getting people to talk about certain things.
Yeah.
And he just his whole brand just gets a little overwhelming at a certain point, and we're well past that.
I don't even think it's overwhelming. I think it's just stale.
Yeah, it's overdone. People like Ben Shapiro, because Ben Shapiro actually can give them a reason why they're wrong instead of feminism is cancer. They make them think, whereas Milo's just kind of, some of the things he says are hilarious, but he's not really going to make people think or change their minds, like Steven Crowder or, of course, Ben Shapiro would do.
Milo is making his 10th comeback, by the way.
Is he
planning his 10th comeback?
What's going on with that, Kevin? It sounds like
I just see him on social media. He's going to come. He's making a comeback this spring,
right. Well,
whatever that means.
I wish him the best.
Did that last year too, by the way.
Well, I mean, it's what everyone tries to do.
Cinco de Milo, that was supposed to be one of his comebacks, and then last year
I remember that
comeback.
Man, that was that seems like just so long ago, doesn't it, Kevin?
Yeah, it does.
What seems so long ago?
Well, we were one of those favorite
Halloween
that got to host Miloween.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So
for me, it was funny. What happened after was funnier, but
yeah,
that's another story that doesn't need to be put on air. But yeah, no. I don't know. Just I know Milo coming to our school at the time was a really big thing. But I know for me, just looking back on it, it was kind of more of just an inconvenience. I don't know, and it just seems like having something like that, and then having an organization that can provide you this tool, or more or less, not even just provide you a tool or a person like this, but more or less push it on you that you should have a person like this. It just seems like simultaneously, while they're trying to inconvenience you through rules and regs, they're also trying to inconvenience you by the people that they want you to have on campus.
Oh no, Milo was not an inconvenience, Mikey.
No, it wasn't. Well, I don't know. I thought it was an inconvenience a little bit,
no,
but that's just me.
He was huge for the club. I mean,
Okay.
we were getting 50, 60 people at our meetings because he was coming to campus.
Yeah. Okay.
That was
I remember that. Yeah.
That's why a good number of people even know that we exist on campus.
Okay.
So
yeah.
the speakers are incredibly important, and if you can get really exciting speakers to come talk about really interesting topics, absolutely that's what clubs should be doing. And
well, I mean, speakers that show up on time,
yeah,
and actually and how this they show a speaker that can show up on time
Look,
and provide everything that everyone paid for. The services that were rendered that he had to cut short. It just, I don't know.
No, I understand there were problems, and there's a lot of things that didn't go the way we had planned, but that's every event to a certain extent.
Yeah,
so.
that's true.
Yeah.
But
we don't go through and rehash all this.
I know we don't. We've talked about it before, but it's just because we brought it. It just gets brought up. It's just, I don't know. It's just, that's just me.
I mean, Milo thing was more so because Ariana and Milo were very close personal friends, and his career, I feel was kind of, it wasn't at its peak anymore, and so she was trying to get him more opportunities and jobs.
Yeah.
So
I think we were fortunately one of his. We might have been his last college.
Yeah.
That
we were his only college.
Well, not his only. He's been to a ton of
no,
colleges.
Oh,
UCSB had him.
No.
He-
But I mean, sorry for the year. My apologies, for the year that he came.
Oh, really?
For his North America tour, we're the only college at that time.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because he was going to start with
At the
us,
same
and then
time.
he was going to go to a couple other events and a couple other schools, and they all canceled. And we were the only school that did it.
Yeah.
So I think when he got back from like Australia, coming to us, and then going, because he was supposed to do an event before us, got canceled.
Yeah.
Then he came to us, and then he was supposed to go to like Texas, and then I think Florida or something like that, and they canceled. So,
Yeah. CSU was supposed to be in that lineup, I believe, but our administration did some ridiculous things, so it didn't even get there.
That's awful.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is there's just, there's so many things that we could be focusing on, like, getting people to come speak on campus and all that other stuff, and it just gets lost with this CCR judicial board, case load nonsense.
Oh, 100%.
So I'm excited to see an organization that's actually about empowering the chapters to kind of do their own thing and be their own organizations while still getting what support that they need from the state, or that'll be good.
Yeah, 100%. And the RVCs that we have are pretty strong, and essentially the way the structure is going to go is the RVCs are going to be the main point of contact for those chapters in their respective regions. So it wouldn't be anyone really talking to the executive committee unless they really went out of their way and they wanted to. So we wouldn't be interfering in clubs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. That's good to hear.
No, I think that's good. I mean, I like that too, just because. I think much of it's already been explained, but I think it just makes it more of a wholesome and more of a, I don't know, like a natural environment for people to do things and to operate and to interact, and to really, if this is the goal that people want to promote, at least on their campus, like it's because when you empower the chapter heads to run their clubs, you also in a way empower the individuals of their club to get what they need to get done. And when you take that away, then it kind of it trickles down from there. The more you restrict chapter heads, the more you restrict clubs, more within the club are not going to, it's just going to be, they're not going to perform well in a way. They're not going to be happy. They're not going to be really content, and they're going to be stifled because, something that's a little too overbearing and top down. So I don't know. Maybe that's how I read it, but yeah, no, I would have to agree 100% with Ryan on that. So really happy to hear that.
So are there any major speakers coming to any of the clubs that are chartered with you guys this year that you know of?
I'm trying to think. I don't know anything.
OCC is having Fleckus and two other people that I haven't heard of, but
okay.
I think that's within the next week or so.
That's cool.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, it's mostly been CFCR all the time. So.
Yeah, no, I know you guys just started last week, so I don't expect you to have a full accounting of what's going on at every club. But if you knew anything, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to let people know what's going on.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because I mean, during the time where a lot of us were dechartering, CCR started posting more about individual clubs like events on their pages, on their like social media, I guess. Like Slow had Fleckas and some other people, or Will Witt or something, but that was like a good thing they did, but they should have been doing that the whole time.
Yeah.
So I plan to like promote those events because I know Fullerton was supposed to have Dave Rubin, and I don't know all the situation with that. I'm sure it's very annoying and frustrating, but it ended up not working out because people didn't buy enough tickets. So that was unfortunate.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that sort of thing happens. I don't know all the specifics with that with all that, but things just don't work out sometimes. But yeah, I'm excited to see. You guys have 21 different chapters, so somebody's going to be doing something pretty cool this year.
Oh, for sure, and it's like no one's going to be wrapped up in like stupid drama where they can't focus on their club.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that the campuses are going to have some stupid drama.
Oh, Oh, I mean, respectively, sure, but I mean, overall, there's not going to be like, oh, Maddie like decides that she doesn't like the chair of OCC, like she's going to make another chapter.
I was trying to say the like campus administration drama. So
I mean, that helps our cause, though.
Yeah, it does.
I don't mind that happening. I feel bad for the frustration and the discrimination and intolerance that CRs have to go through, but it's nice promotional material to not only spread our message and make people realize that we're almost a minority on campus, but also to kind of just get some publicity. Yeah,
it's definitely helpful for that, and knowing how to put out a press release is an important skill for a college Republican these days.
Oh, 100%. Convention's going to be 10 times more interactive than it's ever been before, so hopefully we'll be teaching some good skills at that convention.
That's awesome. Yeah, so what kind of other stuff are you going to offer at the convention besides just the voting?
I mean, mostly it's like there's ideas floating around. We still want to keep I'm pretty sure we still want to keep like the Friday traditional, like having dinner with your region type of thing. I haven't been too involved in the planning yet because we've just been trying to nail down a location. But I want to do more like networking, because the whole reason you go to convention is to meet people from across the state.
Yeah.
And what convention has been in the past, and this is like consistent throughout all administrations, you just sit there and listen to speakers for 8 hours and have a lunch break. Like, I'd rather do something where it's like a regional meetup, or there's some like assembly people or important like Republican figures or something, like, and you're kind of networking, or have like a tabling workshop, like this is how you guys should table, and like how to be an active tabler kind of thing.
Well,
so
cool.
I'm hoping it's a little more interactive, and teaching some useful things, as opposed to like maybe teaching things like a press release where not every chapter member is going to need to know that.
Yeah. So you can kind of have multiple different events, and you send a couple of the people that need to know it to them. That makes sense.
I mean, that's what BOD is mostly for. Like in August, board of directors will be more of like officer-specific workshops. But if we can have like general member workshops where it's like applicable to everyone, that would be amazing.
Gotcha. That would be really cool. So is there anything else that we should know about CFCR? I think we've done a pretty good in-depth discussion about kind of some of the differences and some of its strengths. Do you have anything else you wanted to say?
I mean, essentially, I'll just give you kind of a recap of what happened at the convention this weekend. Basically, I don't know if you've heard of the amendment to the CRP bylaws that Sahil was trying to pass.
I heard a little bit about it. Something about, wasn't it supposed to decharter CCR or something like that? Yeah,
that's like the common kind of what people say. Essentially, it was supposed to not decharter CCR, so they'd still be a part of CRP, but it would take them away from the permanently chartered status. So instead of, like, permanently chartered chapters don't have to be audited. So this would, like, removing them from that status would subject them to an audit, because I believe that shortly they're going to fall below the criteria of what constitutes an organization in their bylaws. It's like 10 chapters in 3 different regions across the state with 200 members.
Oh, okay. So that's what you mean by an audit, it's not like a financial thing. You're auditing members. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a membership audit. So it would kind of hold them accountable. Because why would you charter an organization permanently if they only have like 10 members or something?
Yeah.
So this was like, because someone on the not House Rules, the CRP Rules Committee was saying, maybe they should be subjected, because log cabins has to be subjected, and so does impact Republicans.
Wait, so log cabin and impact aren't permanent, but CCR is? That's crazy.
Yep. I know. But yeah, so those are a few examples. But so basically, some of us were lobbying, some of us were like, it doesn't matter. But so that amendment didn't pass. It basically, it passed, but it didn't pass in the bylaws. Essentially, it was committed to the Volunteer Organizations Committee, and they're in charge of like overseeing volunteer organizations, which I never knew, but okay. And so when I went to the Volunteer Organizations Committee meeting on Friday, before they voted down the amendment on Saturday and Sunday, basically now what situation we're in is the volunteer organization committee wants to mediate and try and make us one organization.
Okay, so they're trying that whole process again. Not again, but yeah.
Because the whole weekend they were saying, well, this happened in Young Republicans 10 years ago, and, you know, everything ended up being okay, and it was a lot of, you guys are young, this'll pass, most of you will be gone, why, you know, and they were, like, a lot of it was, like, ignorance, too.
Yeah.
Because it was all coming from a great place. Like, you know, they don't want their youth organization to be in shambles, but they were like, why didn't you handle this internally? Why are we hearing about this now? And it's like, we did handle it for 6 to 8 months, and we tried to keep it under wraps, but then it just got out because it became so ridiculous.
Well, I don't know how they didn't know there was something kind of brewing. I mean, there's been signs forever that there are major, major problems.
I mean, this is going on, this whole, like, I guess, issue of just disunity for, like, 2 years.
Yeah.
So they thought it was just going to pass and it wasn't going to be a big deal, and people would graduate and it would, you know, they would get over it, and they didn't want to interfere. But it's like, then they were saying, why didn't you talk to any of us? I was like, I didn't know that CRP was a resource.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just a lot of, like, you shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and just that kind of thing. Like, love CRP, they're great, and I know that they're trying to help now, but it's just kind of disheartening when you can't really boil this all down to, like, a 30-minute or even, like, a 10-minute or a 30-minute conversation about what's going wrong and what's been wrong.
Yeah, well, and unfortunately, there's some structural changes that have been made to CCR that kind of make it a little bit, unsavable at the moment. You know, maybe there's something that could be done, but
with the if they were had a general charter, they could review the bylaws and actually force them to make changes. But in the state that they're in, they can't force them to do anything.
Well, it just seems like a bad idea, to basically give these organizations tenure, because that would be like the most notable comparison. They can't be audited. They can have 0 members and just keep kind of walking around the shell of their old glory.
I feel like the intent was, if CCR ever died and became nothing, it would still have that permanent charter, so that if someone wanted to start it up again, then they wouldn't have to go through the process of applying for a general, applying for a permanent later on, that type of thing.
Gotcha. Is it that big of an ordeal to go through all that?
Yeah, I mean, they were kind of telling us at CRP, they were like, well, if we can join you into one organization, we won't have to file all this paperwork. And I was like, I mean, okay.
So is it because CRP really wants to help to mend the situation, or they just want to save themselves a bunch of paperwork?
I mean,
quite frankly, if I were a person in CRP looking at all this, I would want to save myself a bunch of paperwork.
I mean, 100%. Like, I don't think it boils down to just the paperwork, but they're coming at it from a perspective where they think that this isn't a big deal and it's gonna be solved within the next 3 months. Like, I don't think that they understand what's been going on, because number one, we didn't really know that we had to reach out to CRP or that CRP could even do anything. And then also because we've tried to keep it and handle it so internally for so long, that now it's coming out, everyone's like, why is this happening?
Yeah. No, I understand their position. They don't want to deal with it, and now they kind of have to. It makes sense.
Well, they don't want to, like, start up a whole new organization and file that paperwork if the organization was just going to crumble in, like, a year or less than.
Yeah.
So I get that. Like, I don't expect them to trust us, but I want them to take it seriously, because it is serious.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys are completely serious, but especially from their perspective, you're all chapters that just left one organization, so they know that you're willing to leave organizations. So yeah, it's unfortunate that that's the way that it has to go. But I'm sure that in a year or two, you guys are going to be official, get recognized.
Yeah, I don't see a problem.
Well, I think not just. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, Ryan.
I was just going to say, especially having Berkeley and UCLA and those big schools make a difference.
I mean, we have all the UCs but Irvine in our.
So it's kind of hard to say that you're the California College Republicans if you don't have any of the UC schools.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying, Mikey?
Well, I was going to say not just not that they have just to kind of maybe add to your point, saying that maybe you guys are not just willing to leave an organization, but you're willing to build a better organization. That where it's not how about this? Where most of the problems that people are counting on being fixed is people just graduating. Like something, I don't know, just maybe this is an opportunity to do something with what we thought 2 years ago or 3 years ago what CCR was going to be, where you actually kind of look ahead and treat your members, I don't know, I would say better, or at least some of your members better. So I don't know, maybe it's again, it's not just you guys are willing to leave an organization, but hopefully you guys can prove that you can be a better organization.
Definitely.
Maybe. So I mean, that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
If you don't, then you'll just crumble. Yeah. But it's always good. Good luck with your endeavor. I would say on my end. So.
Thank you.
And the CRP's dealing with their own nonsense and a little bit of a fracturing of the party with the chairman vote that just happened. What was it? Jessica Patterson against Travis Allen. You were there, right, at the convention?
Yes.
Yeah. What was kind of the temperature of the room there? Was it was there a pretty big contingent of Travis Allen supporters, or?
I'm trying to remember the exact numbers. I believe that Jessica got somewhere over 40% of the vote, and Travis ended up with somewhere over 20.
Okay.
So, and there was Steve Frank too, and I think he had about somewhere in the teens. I can't remember. But I mean, of course, like back like in the governor's race, like Travis Allen supporters are a lot more vocal and they're a lot more enthusiastic.
Yeah.
And there were enthusiastic Jessica supporters, like, not to knock her or anything. But it seemed like she was the clear choice, and a lot of people thought that, or still think that she's going to be more competent. From what I saw with, like from my own personal kind of looking at it, Jessica is very competent. She has the donors, I think, the donor network and the kind of resources to grow the party in that sense. Mm-hmm. But Travis Allen, and I'm not sure how widespread it is, this is just from my observation, it seems like he can kind of grow some kind of grassroots movement, which is important as well. But I don't know if that's just among like Ladera Ranch moms or if it's like, I don't know. But yeah. It seems like he has the energy and the enthusiasm kind of thing. And not that Jessica doesn't, but she's a very establishment type of person. And she just kind of wants to get the job done kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I think you have to kind of look at the person and match them to the job. The job of the chairman of the California Republican Party isn't to, be a figurehead. They're there to just get the work done. And I don't think Travis is a get the work done kind of guy. He's a make a name for myself kind of guy and do whatever it takes to promote me and get me to the next position. That's just he came from my backyard, so it's kind of the feel I have for him. I could be wrong, but given some of the gas tax stuff that he was doing and a few other things, that he rubbed me the wrong way a few times.
Now, if you guys don't mind, I don't know. So what is so controversial about this nomination of the chairman? I don't know. Maybe I'm a few more steps removed from this than maybe you guys are. So can someone fill me in, and maybe fill in people who are going to be passing this podcast by from time to time?
I really don't think there was that much of like controversy, but more or less it's just the cult of personality that Travis Allen has built with his gubernatorial bid that failed. So there was a huge portion of the California party that really likes him. So they were very supportive of him and are now very upset that he didn't get the nomination, probably. So it wasn't like a huge, it wasn't a huge like issue. It's just Travis is now 0 for 2, so people are kind of salty.
Okay, so people just butthurt then.
Well, I feel like it's almost the Trump Cruz divide. Some people were yelling and saying that Jessica Patterson was a rhino,
Okay.
and then some were saying, it was kind of the Trump rhino type of dichotomy that we see, and I don't think it was as strong as it would have been back in 2016, but there were some people being super disrespectful during her one of her speeches, and they were yelling at her like she was a part of the swamp or stuff like that.
What would you say to that? What are your kind of feelings about her? Do you think that she? Well, what do you feel? Do you think she was a pretty good choice for?
Yeah. So I was supposed to be a Travis proxy. I do like Travis, but I've been told by a lot of people around me that I trust that Jessica was very experienced and like the right choice, and I hope that she is. I feel like she would have a better shot of rebranding the party than Travis Allen would.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think we really need right now. I think it's critical that we kind of go towards, not necessarily like a younger direction, but like, we need to like just rebrand our values, because our values are great, but the way they're packaged is not, and it's not appealing to anyone.
And I think as anathema as partisan, not partisan, but the gender politics and that sort of thing and race politics are to us, it is kind of important in California to have a woman and a Latina at that, as the head of the party rather than just another white guy.
Yeah.
As much as I hate that, it does look better, and it's a little bit more representative of the actual people in the state than Travis Allen is.
Yeah, I think it helps to have someone who's like more diverse being the face of our party. It's unfortunate we have to kind of play into those games that the Democrats like tend to want to do, but I mean, she's different than past chairs. She's a woman, she's Hispanic, or Latina, and I just hope
Is she Latina?
Yeah. I don't know exactly what she is, but she's Latina. Because I think her married name's Patterson. I don't think that's her maiden name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think it's like Milan or something.
So what were your kind of impressions of her, getting to hear her speak? Is she supportive of Trump? Is she just kind of like paying lip service to it? Where does she land on that?
I don't remember her mentioning anything specifically, because I left before she gave her full-on acceptance speech, because the way CRP works is that the chair who is elected immediately takes over and chairs the rest of the convention. Mm-hmm. So she just gave like a few little comments. She was like thanking people and, saying that, essentially like what everyone I think would say, like they want to work hard, they're excited about the future kind of thing. I don't remember her mentioning anything specifically from what I heard about the national level. But I mean, from my impression, it seems that she knows that there are people that don't like Trump in our state, and there's a lot of Republicans that are turned off by that. So I feel like I don't know exactly what her position is, but I feel like she's taking a more moderate approach. Like she just wants to get Republicans elected. Mm-hmm. So I know she wasn't like pandering to Trump supporters, pandering to people that are more establishment, but she was just kind of in the middle about it.
Gotcha. Yeah, and she should be a little bit more in the middle of with divisive stuff. For me, having worked on a campaign that ultimately lost, I feel like it's difficult to run as a Republican without supporting the current president. Who's a Republican. So I feel like we're just going to shoot ourselves in the foot again if we try to, be in some mushy middle where we don't support him but want to take credit for all of his successes. It's just that's a bad idea as far as I'm concerned, strategy wise. But we'll see what happens in 2020.
Yeah, I hear there's this kind of, and I don't know what the truth is because I haven't seen any numbers, but there's some people that say, well, candidates who support Trump are more likely to win because people like when their candidates take a stand. And then some say that it's more effective if you go towards the middle and you don't say that you support Trump or whatever. And like I said, I don't know the numbers on that, but I feel like California Republicans are kind of tired of us kind of being this more moderate kind of Republican, to where we let all these taxes pass through the legislature, and we let all these terrible things happen. I mean, not that we've ever had a majority or anything, but we don't try to fight, from my perspective. So I don't know. I feel like if you're being unabashedly yourself as a candidate, that's like the most you can do.
Well, I can speak to my own perspective from running a campaign where we were in support of Young Kim.
Okay, great.
It seemed insane to me that she's running as a Korean American to take office in Congress, but she's not talking about the successes of Trump, getting getting Kim Jong-un and Moon Jae-in, I believe, is the president of South Korea, together. Like, you can't mention that because you don't want to seem like you're supporting Trump. That's just insane to me.
Exactly.
How are you how do you say that you're a Republican who's for reducing taxes when you can't talk about Trump's tax reform plan? Like, if there's a Republican in office, you have to back that Republican, for president, at least as far as I'm concerned. But and that's not where you're coming from. So that's just my own 2 cents.
I mean, I would hope that they would want to support the president. Like, if I were running right now, I'd support the president, because I do support the president. I don't think candidates should be afraid of that, because, I mean, Trump did win the election. I mean, he didn't win by popular vote, but, I mean, he won the election. So there's obviously some people that support him. I did notice some weird correlation with congressmen that voted to bring DACA to the table to negotiate. They ended up not getting reelected, and they were love Valadeo. Nunes is my favorite. Valadeo is a close second. Valadeo signed on to renegotiating DACA. So did Denham. So did Knight. So I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the different things, the different patterns that exist. It's really tough trying to figure out which ones matter, though.
Oh yeah, 100%. I thought it was kind of.
No, I just think that, especially here in California, Republicans really need to start differentiating themselves from Democrats. Play to our strengths and just blast those out, loud and clear, rather than kind of, I don't know. I would hate to see 2020 be a repeat of 2018, where, especially here in Orange County, we just get blown out again by the Democrats on the.
I think we need to focus on fiscal policy.
Yeah. That's
our strength. Our social policy is okay, but it's not, the way we have it branded is not popular. So, and not palatable. But I think economic policy is our best bet, especially in California, where you're paying a shit ton of money for everything.
You're from San Diego, right? So, what do you know what's going on with the gas tax? Is Carl just dropping that and moving on, or what? Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, I know some things because I still get his emails. So essentially, he's a part of a PAC called Reform California. He's the chair or whatever. So it's Reform California, and basically, I think the direction that they're still going to do ballot propositions, because that's the only way we can win in California right now. Yeah. I think they're going towards a ballot proposition where if there's any kind of tax increase legislation proposed, it needs to be voted on by voting members, citizens of California.
Oh, interesting. So any tax increase?
I heard specifically it was gas tax or transportation related increases. I hope it's more general as to any tax, but I think they might be focusing on gas specifically.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm excited to see what comes out of there.
Because basically they blame their loss, and I don't think they're totally incorrect, but they blame their loss on the wording of that proposition, and it confused a lot of voters.
Oh yeah, it confused me. You know, if I wasn't directly involved and
Yeah.
knew working that campaign, you know, I would have. The wording was just deplorable.
It was horrible.
Well, I was trying to read it and I didn't get it, and I was like, you know what? Yes on 6. That's all I know.
Yeah, just got to trust the people that are running the campaign, I guess.
No,
Yeah.
it was out of all the propositions, that was the one that was more than just questionable. Like there were a few other ones that were questionable, but was a Proposition 6 was that how the Attorney General allow that to be put into in that wording, like it's totally not fair.
Well, it was the same Attorney General I had to sue to make sure that they didn't apply rules ex post facto to a recall. So they're not exactly known for for playing by the
for fairness. So
yeah.
So
all right. Well, I know that Kevin, you wanted to do a something with some memes.
Yeah, I wanted to do a meme review, but I'm looking on the live stream. I don't see your face. I don't see your feed.
Well, no,
he's got that queued up. That's all on him.
That's technical difficulties on my end. Unfortunately, it seems like Miss Maddie has taken up all the space with the black box, and for some reason, it just has not switched. I've been trying to get it for I don't know how long now, trying to get you guys to flip through, but it's just not working on my end. So that's totally on me. So for everyone here and people who'll be watching now and in the future, that's something I gotta have to take. So I'll take my lashings on that.
So Madison, you're more than welcome to stay for that if you would like, or if you need to get going. I know that your time is valuable, and we've really appreciated you being on.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I have a constitutional law test to study for. It's at 8 a.m. tomorrow, so.
Oh.
But that's not a knock on your memes. Your memes are great.
We really appreciate you joining us tonight. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Madison.
See ya.
See ya.
All right.
All right. See, now.
She's a great guest.
She is a great guest. Yes, I must say.
Yes, that was awesome.
Hey.
She kind of explained the whole organization and gave us a pretty good understanding of what they're doing over there.
Yeah. See, look now, Ryan. I can see your face now.
Just me.
You've literally brightened.
What did
brightened up my day.
What did you do?
Not saying that our guest did not, but I mean there is literally a visual difference.
It's the beard.
It is the beard.
The beard just brightens up the day.
Brightens up the darkness of the night, right? So, I don't know. So, how do we want to start this? I'll
let that up to. I was going to give that over to Kevin. He kind of.
All right, then let's transfer this over to Kevin. All right, Kevo.
All right, very good. So, I wanted to do a segment on meme review. After I saw a meme review with Elon Musk a few days ago, I thought it was really cool. And a few months ago, there was a meme review with. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you loud and clear.
You guys are kind of blurry now. Okay, so there was a meme review with Ben Shapiro a few months ago, and that was also pretty cool. And I'm totally not subscribed to PewDiePie yet, so I haven't done my duty yet with that.
Yeah, wait, are you subscribed to T-Series? Is that who you support?
I actually have no idea who T-Series is either.
You're not subscribed to PewDiePie, so clearly you're a T-Series supporter.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay. I guess
we can't have any of that.
Yeah, I don't think we can do a meme review until you're subscribed to PewDiePie.
Okay, I'll do that real quick. No, actually, no, I did. No, I didn't. I checked out PewDiePie's channel. I was like, I thought about subscribing, but I didn't.
You thought about it.
I don't find him too funny.
Let me see.
It doesn't matter why you subscribe to somebody. If you even like the person you subscribe for, you just subscribe to a person.
Yeah, you can't let those Indian bastards.
Well, it looks like that cut out right on time. Ryan?
What? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you guys hear that?
Kind of. It went to Indian and then blank. So.
Oh, okay.
So maybe we can read those fuzzy lips, but.
You didn't hear bitch lasagna?
No, no, no. I thought it was something completely worse than that. But
No, I was checking out the sub gap between PewDiePie and T Series.
Oh, what's the sub gap?
Currently sitting pretty at 73,000.
73.
Yeah,
What?
the T Series took over for like 10 minutes a couple days ago. But then with Elon Musk coming to the rescue, he's been
There's effort. There has been effort to keep PewDiePie on top. So, but I've done my part. So
So Kevin, you were saying that you saw the meme review with Elon Musk and Justin Roiland from I think of that show, Rick and Morty.
Oh, is that who? I didn't know who he was.
Yeah, he's one of the co-creators. Him and Dan Harmon created Rick and Morty.
Oh, okay. Does he usually do a meme review type show, or is it just like a one-time thing?
I think it was just a one-time thing. I have no idea why Justin Roiland was involved, but I guess he had something to do with Elon Musk, getting him.
I see.
Getting him. I think they did it in one of his studios, because he's in television, so he has access to cameras and a production crew and that sort of thing.
All right.
Would be my guess.
Very cool. Yeah. So I was inspired by that segment to possibly include that into our show. So why not?
why not?
And the memes, even if I don't like PewDiePie, I do like the videos he posts only for the memes, just to check out the hottest new memes.
Yeah, he is good for that. He's been helping keep me up to date on that stuff. And
All right, very cool.
I are the same age as PewDiePie, actually.
We are?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's somewhere between 29 and 30, I think. So.
All right. Hey, you're not supposed to tell everyone my age.
I'm sorry.
That's very disrespectful.
Wait, is it? Never mind. I won't say anything more.
We'll just bleep that out in post.
Post. There is no post here.
This is
Do you think this is the most embarrassing thing said on this show? No.
We got Mikey's meltdown from a few months ago.
Yeah, we do.
That was fun. All right.
That is always fun. So, let's
Mike,
start it. So.
And roll over you for a while. So just take over, Kevin.
All right. Well, okay. So I don't know which order. I kind of just put them in a random order, Mr. Kevin. So.
Yeah, that works.
You kind of just want me to start? I'll just start rolling through then.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so here is number 1. Can you see? Can everyone see? Yes? No?
Oh, yes.
Maybe so.
There we go. Yeah, I see it.
Starting off strong with a SpongeBob meme. Also always.
All right.
Yeah,
SpongeBob memes are always.
Well, it's always about SpongeBob memes, and it's about Bert and Ernie memes. I don't care what people say. That's just the pinnacle of meme of just memes right there for me. So.
All right, so this meme obviously about Jussie Smollett, about him, the whole hoax of him getting beat up by MAGA hat wearing Trump supporters. Turns out it was all a hoax. So I think this is a pretty good meme.
Yeah, who knew that two people wouldn't lay in wait to ambush somebody in minus 20-degree weather?
I didn't know. Well, I didn't know that Nigeria was MAGA country.
Apparently, I'm sure there's some scam emails that claim it though.
Scam emails? Are they in someone's trash?
So, that's right. I remember this scene from when I was a kid.
Do you?
I can just hear Patrick.
Yeah.
It's just so great, isn't it? Because he's just got that voice where you just hear him talking.
Okay, so I think we should all give this meme a rating and subsequent memes a rating.
Oh,
I'm going to give this one. I feel like it's a solid 7. I'm going to give this one a solid 7.
7 out of 10.
I agree.
I
agree. 7 out of ten.
Yeah, I'll probably go about 6.5, but 6.5, 7. That's
all right.
About
so
there.
He's the Russian judge.
I am very cool. I actually made this meme.
You made?
I made this meme.
Oh, and you're just and you're knocking it that low with a 7?
Well, it's
Do you
a
not
decent.
take pride in your work, sir?
It's not as spicy as some of the other memes I've seen.
A 7's a solid grade. I mean, we're not in school here. Like 7, that's top 70% memes. That's cream of the crop, man. Yeah, it's not the best, but
you mean the top 30, not the top 70.
Yeah, top 30%.
Top 30.
Man, sorry,
you've been far away from school.
And I've been far away from math, not school. All right, so we give this one a solid 7.
Yep, 7.
All right.
Next meme.
All right. Okay. So, all right. Next one coming up. Get this done. There we go.
There we go. Oh man, I submitted this one. I think we're actually going to start seeing some wall segments built. So I kind of like the way this was presented. Clearly, Trump superimposed on a larger, possibly Mexican man.
Is it larger or is he smaller?
I mean, he's got a bit of a gut. Trump does hide his pretty well, but he definitely has one too. So I don't know.
That's a very good Photoshop, by the way.
It's solid.
It might just be a guy who looks like Donald Trump.
I guess.
And they photoshopped the hat on.
But what's the likelihood of a guy that looks like Donald Trump building a makeshift wall? Like that's some seriously good luck or a seriously good edit. That's one of the two.
I'd probably say good at
it. Yeah, so I'll do it myself.
Like I said, I submitted this one. It's not one of the better ones. I'd say I'd probably give it about a 4.
Wow, I think we're on the same wavelength here, Ryan.
Really? You'd
4.
say as well?
4.
Yeah. It's
maybe a 3 even.
Yeah, I was probably being a little bit generous because it's one that I submitted and I liked, but definitely not one of the top memes. What do you think, Mikey?
Mo, I don't know. I have to be that Russian judge, don't I?
What is it, a 2?
No, it's gonna be more like a 5 or 6.
Oh, okay.
It's called Russian collusion.
Good one.
I'm botting this bitch. That's what's gonna happen.
All right, we ready to move on to the next one?
I think so. I think we are. All right, next one coming up.
Next meme.
A little old, it seems, but Kevin, take it away.
Oh yes, actually, it's cut off for me. Ryan, your face is in the way.
My face is in the way.
Yeah, I have your feed covering. I wonder how do I do that?
That's weird. But yeah, basically, it's the hello, my government isn't doing what I told it to do. IT says, have you tried turning it off and on again?
Yeah.
Trump realizes that's what he should do.
But I don't.
What was that?
I don't know. I think this meme's gonna suffer just by context. I think it would have been good. I don't know, maybe the 30 days before the shutdown or at the beginning of the shutdown.
During,
but
I thought that it might be a little bit better considering there was, obviously everything got signed, but I think it was still just like a continuing resolution, wasn't it, or was it an actual?
No, continuing resolution. They're fighting over the budget in March.
Yeah, see, so in March we're gonna have the same old thing again. This is 30 days before that.
Okay, see the shit.
We can reuse this.
You have to pull the plug twice on this one.
yeah. You had to, didn't work the first time. Turn it off, turn it back on again.
I feel bad for Grandma. Grandma really wants to have that tapioca pudding.
See,
I pull the plug twice.
I'd rather they start uninstalling some departments of. We just start uninstalling, education gone.
I would just defrag Congress.
Yeah, there's a lot of old files in there that need to get deleted.
That need to be deleted and/or forcibly consolidated.
Minecraft. Trump has been the federal departments. His policy getting rid of 2 regulations for every one they want to implement.
So something like that. How about we just get rid of 2 members of government for every person they want to implement?
Yeah,
a libertarian's paradise right there.
All right, Mikey, we're gonna start with you this time. Where do you?
Like I said, I think it suffers by context. Maybe I don't know. during the shutdown, I think it would have been like a 6 or a 7, but I think I'm throwing this one like a 4 or 5.
All right.
Just because of it.
I think we give it a solid 5. I think it's got pretty good, staying power. There's going to be more government shutdowns, so it'll roll back around.
Yeah, when I first saw this meme, I definitely laughed out loud. It was. I would say I would give it an 8 when I first saw it, and now I would give it maybe a 5.5.
Okay. Yeah, I was basically the same way. I've kind of got an IT background, so from that perspective, it was just hilarious to me.
All right.
All right.
You can see that.
Kevin?
Oh. All right, so we switching, we going down the list, and then here we go. The next on the list.
Am I still in the way of this one, or can you see it?
No, I got it now.
That's good.
All right, so obviously this is a play off of the format with Joe Rogan. Have you ever tried DMT? That's crazy, man. Have you ever tried DMT? As he says to every guest he has on the show.
It's true.
Yeah, it's about almost true. He did say that to Alex Jones too. So.
Didn't he have Alex Jones on today?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, did he? I didn't
Yes,
know.
that was very interesting.
They made up. I think they kissed and made up. No, I'm just kidding.
I missed that.
No, they actually did have a pretty loud shouting match, and Eddie Bravo joined them too.
In the episode.
In the episode, and
oh man, this is gonna be some good
yeah,
radio.
Eddie Bravo came in.
I'm so
like
heartbroken.
halfway through.
I'm so heartbroken. I didn't know this. Why did I not know this? I'm so sad. I just all my notifications did not let me know. Google failed me.
Well, it did just happen today, so you're not too far behind, and the podcast hasn't been released
failed
yet.
Me. I always keep track of Alex Jones, but no, I slipped up.
Well,
Fell
maybe
through the cracks and became a normie.
You said he used Google. Maybe he got banned from Google Alerts or whatever.
Probably. I don't know. All I know is I feel such like a normie now. This is terrible.
All right. So what do we think about this meme? Obviously Bernie Sanders is running again, so it's a little bit more relevant. But I feel like Hillary memes are kind of stale at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I will give it a 5.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with a 4. I think it would have been great, right in 2016, right after he lost. But what about you, Mike?
That was before this meme format came out, I think.
Oh, okay.
That's true, but again, I mean, I must give it. I have to give it like I am going to be Russian judge. The Russian judge says do, because
2.
Yeah, just because I'm done. Like, it's to the point where when it comes to Hillary memes and when it comes to the 2016 election, just in general, is you have like one or two strains of thought. You have the Democrats that are upset that Hillary lost. And then also you have all the other Democrats who are upset that Hillary rigged the DNC and then lost. And then on the other side, you have us on the conservative side. They're kind of still running with the fact that Hillary lost. And it's like, it's 2 years later. It's just, I'm kind of done, tired of it. We have more other people to shit on and other people to meme and other people to make fun of. Like, this kind of like, let's just get past
New election to worry about.
Yeah, we got another election, other elections to worry about and stuff like that. So, like, I don't know. I'm just like, yeah.
Kevin, you're the most up to date on the freshest memes. Has Kamala Harris gotten any good memes coming out of her camp?
Possibly. None based on any of the popular formats.
Mm-hmm.
But probably, the basic ones with the top text and the bottom text, and it's just. But I haven't seen any that are, worth laughing at, or sharing even, or looking at.
We'll get there. It's too early.
Mm-hmm.
She's not the nominee yet, so we'll.
I don't think she'll ever be the nominee, but I don't know.
If you want to look at the way that CNN has been playing it and MSNBC, she's kind of the de facto person for them. I mean, they gave her a whole town hall.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's still 2 years out, but
Yeah.
Or a year out, right?
Well, depends on what you're talking about. It's obviously it's 2.5 years out from no.
A year and a half.
No, 1 year. The first Iowa caucuses is next January. No.
Yeah, you're right. So less than a year from that, but a year and a half, almost a year and 3/4 before.
That's too much time.
The election.
How about this? Bush was around this time. Bush was the nominee. Was the uprunner on the ivory on the ivory tower or on the pedestal.
Yeah.
So we'll see who. But as of like I said before, and I think a previous episode, like Kamala Harris is, she's being pushed, but she's not super popular. Especially with the farther, the further left crowd. They're not going to stand for it.
The way that primaries work, she's got a pretty big leg up. California is one of the bigger states, so she'll get a ton of delegates from that.
Yeah,
that's true. And California, they moved their primary up to March, I think, right?
So it's going to be she's got a huge advantage with that then.
Okay.
That's a ton of delegates. If you look at where media is located, the three locations where a ton of media outlets are located are Los Angeles, New York, and Washington D.C. So she's got a leg up there. She's got a lot of things going for her. She's a woman of color, so she's got a bit more of a chance than you might think.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
I believe they also gave Tulsi Gabbard a town hall.
Did they?
I watched a YouTube video on this Van Jones is CNN, right?
I think so.
Van Jones.
Yeah, they had like a little town hall type thing with Tulsi.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. They did one for Howard Schultz. Not seeing anything about Tulsi Gabbard. They had her on. Looks like she was doing some State of the Union commentary for them, so maybe that was the clip you saw.
No, it looked like...
I don't know.
I just googled Tulsi Gabbard Van Jones, and the first video is Tulsi Gabbard explains... Yeah, it's a clip from the video that I saw.
Having her on the show.
No, it wasn't. It was like a. There was an audience, and it was like an interview.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. Did we give this?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Give this meme a rating. Wasn't very. All right.
All right. Next one.
What's the official transition? Got to clap twice.
Yeah.
There we go.
No, we can be different. We can do 3 times.
Okay.
Next me now.
Oh, okay. Well, now we have to start all over again. Let's just do it again. Come on, let's just get it right.
All right.
Hey, look, we have to be professional LARPers here, and we have to go by protocol. So.
Okay, Mikey. Next meme now.
All right, there we go. Another SpongeBob meme for Brian's amusement.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like this one.
He's just standing there, menacingly.
I really like this one.
Yeah, too. I feel like this would have been a solid like 8 or 9 if it was just after the event. Right now, I'm gonna give it a 6. It by itself, it's a solid 6. I think.
Okay, I'll give 6.
Oh, you agree? Finally.
I'll say it's an 8. Even today.
Okay.
See, well, I'm still a Russian bot.
Nice. Yeah, I like it. It's solid. Patrick's, like I said, he's just got that voice. You just hear him saying it, And then that kid's smile, man. Oh, he just looks so smug. That poor guy.
It's the hat.
It's the hat? Racist hat.
It's the hat. You can't spell hatred without red hat.
Oh shit! We should just put that one. That would have been the funniest one on the freaking list.
There's no image though. It's just word. It's just words. All right.
It's still fun. It's still whatever. All right.
So wait, 8, and then an 8, and then what did I give it a 6? Okay, so that's an average of about 6.8, I think, somewhere around there. Solid.
Sounds right. Yep.
All right.
Okay. Here we go. There we go. This one's
next meme now.
This is Ryan's favorite. Ryan was cuddling up with this one.
Yeah, this one I liked it. It's obviously a little late for Valentine's, but as a Valentine's meme, I'd say it's probably a solid 6. Right now, not being Valentine's, it's probably a 2 or 3.
Because that's all you hear from Ben Shapiro and Shapiro fans. Facts.
I'm surprised I didn't see this meme the past few Valentine's days.
Yeah,
I've seen it everywhere.
This could have been done for the last probably 6 years.
Yeah, I've seen it everywhere, every year. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it!
So, what was your rating, Mikey?
I don't know. I'm sick of it. That's my rating. I can't even put a number on it anymore.
That's low. All right. What do you got, Kevin? What do you think?
I'll give it a 7 because I think it tapped into a market of memes that wasn't yet fulfilled with this type of meme.
That's true. There were some good Trump ones this Valentine's as well. Something I think one was I'd build a wall around something. I can't remember.
Yeah, I've seen those.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Next meme now.
All right. Well,
All right.
last meme now.
Oh, it's the last meme.
Last meme.
Oh, okay.
Is the last. Will it be good? I don't know. Let's see. Nothing. Oh, that was the last meme.
Oh,
that's terrible.
Right.
So I think we've concluded it.
Did you see the chat, Mikey?
I think I did, but I have no way of sneaking it.
I think you did.
I can't sneak it.
I think you can because it doesn't show.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Oh.
So I think technical problems, being what they are, might not work. But I think we might have time this week, guys. Are you ready for it? Bonus meme?
Bonus meme. Alrighty.
Okay, ready? We're ready for a bonus meme? Let's see if Mikey can handle this.
Alright, bonus meme. Alright, give me what's the time on this? Give me the final count. Give me the countdown on this one.
What? I'm not sure what you're asking for, Mikey.
I don't know. You're rushing me. Stop rushing.
We'll give you a sec, but we got time this week.
Yeah.
We're over the 10-minute mark on our video, so we're solid.
You're solid, right? Over the 10-minute mark. We're not failing. Internet's lagging. My rig is pushed to its entire capacity, I think. Oh, okay, come on.
Green's great.
I know the black screen of doom, of death, the void in my soul.
Don't worry, viewers who are watching. You haven't gone blind. It's just green. Don't worry. You can still hear my voice. I'll lead you to the light. Don't worry.
Don't worry. All right, come on, Ryan. Keep talking.
You keep the vamping up. Yeah.
They're giving up.
I could use some help, Kevin. You can try talking.
Oh. Yeah. So, how do you think this meme review segment is going?
I think it was pretty good. I liked it. I think that we can kind of go from more of a political bent as far as the memes are concerned.
I think we can.
Oh, really? I was thinking we don't have to submit political memes.
No, we don't have to, but we can. It's a little bit harder for other people to get into politics, but that's kind of where our podcast is centered around, so we can have more political memes. But we can also you got some good spicy meatball memes. Yeah, we can throw them in there too if they're good enough.
All right.
That's right.
Okay. Well, hopefully I have nothing condemning on my computer. So,
almost there.
Do I have anything condemning? Nah, not
it doesn't
not too
show.
bad.
Don't worry.
What?
It won't show. Don't worry.
Oh, that's right. It's not going to show. Ah. Well, there you go.
Beautiful black screen of nothingness.
At least it's better than all the felonies I have right now, so that's all good. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Baby.
It's got your beautiful mug up in the top left.
Oh, yes. My beautiful mug? My
Yeah.
beautiful mug. Yeah. But nothing but the black screen. Black screen of doom. So, hold on. Let's see if I can't find it. Where'd
Did
it
it
go?
show the memes? I hope it showed the memes.
Oh, which one? Where is it? Where'd it go? I swear I saved it. Oh,
Oh,
no.
no.
I think I lost it. Oh, I had one job, Mike. You had one job.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It is black. It is black currently, but
Black
it did show
currently.
memes. So
It did.
So,
Yes, so that works, but I have one job, and I don't know where it went. Oh,
feeling.
where'd it go?
Did you name it?
I don't know what I named it. I didn't name it.
Wait. Slower down. Can you organize it by date?
No.
Yeah, at the top right of that window where it says arranged by
Oh my god. I hate you people.
day.
Where'd it go? By day. Nope. Nope.
Run to the bottom.
No. Where'd it go?
No.
It's not there. Oh,
There it
there it is. I see
There
it.
is. Sweet.
That's it. There we go. No. Alright, there we go. It's not the black void anymore.
No, it's still the black void.
It's still the black void?
You haven't actually switched over to it yet.
Oh, I have not?
There you go.
There we go.
Just in the top right though, for some
Shit.
reason. Or your top left.
Top left. Oh no, I moved it. It should center.
No. There's a delay. There we go.
There we go. Yes.
Right.
I did it.
Good job,
I've
Mikey.
done it.
It's.
Yes. It took me 5 minutes to do something simple. Yes. I think.
All right. Okay. So this was a meme that I made myself. So what do you guys think?
The Green Children's Crusade. I like it. I do appreciate me the Children's Crusade. You know.
What do you think, Kevin?
Let's see.
Where does this land?
There's a lot of text.
Okay.
Hold on, let me make it bigger on my screen here.
The stuff in the back really isn't supposed to show up as far as being able to read it. You're just supposed to, why am I explaining it?
Okay, let's see.
Because you're its founder, its creator. It is your child.
Well, can you explain it a little further?
Yeah. So it has to do with what I would consider to be child abuse, sending all these children to go protest in front of, Senator Feinstein and Senator McConnell. They're ditching school. I don't know where the truancy officers are, but we're sending all these kids to go, yell at our senators. So I don't know if you've seen that. That's what it's kind of going off of.
Okay, I see.
And then just kind of making a social commentary on the fact that, it may not be as bad, but it's along the same lines as sending your kids off to fight your wars for you.
I see. So is it meant to be funny or more of a serious tone?
I don't know. I guess more serious. That's probably why it's not a great meme. So, please feel free to be as harsh as you want on my one of my meager attempts at
Okay, I'll give it a 2.
Give it a 2. All right, that's fair.
He gives it a 2.
I appreciate your honesty. What about you?
I'm gonna bot this. It's gonna be a 4.
Wow. All right, that's
because I do love me the Children's Crusade. Who doesn't like tens of thousands of children meandering through the wilderness to then be picked up by Arab slavers?
Yeah.
To be sold to North Africans. I love it.
All right, I think that can end our meme review segment.
I think it does, and I think we're gonna go back to
my beautiful face.
Back to Ryan's beautiful face, where technical difficulties are no longer my responsibility.
I mean, Kevin's still not up there, so we're not 100%.
Don't just remind me. I was in a good place, Ryan. I was in a great place, but no. You can-
That's all right. We can go without my face.
You're just reminding me of my shame.
All right.
All right.
Tonight's been a lot of fun. I'm excited. I really want to keep doing this meme stuff. I think that it was a pretty good segment. If the viewers liked it, I hope they did as well.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think the overall commentary around it was probably better, but
Yeah.
that's just me. So
Yep.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's a conversation starter.
Well,
Alright.
and we'll get some better memes going forward. Maybe a
yeah.
little political.
Oh. Start making some gnarly ones. So can't wait for that.
All right, I've got a pretty early day tomorrow.
I do too.
So I think that we will call it a night.
I think so. I think we shall call it a night. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this great endeavor. And again, thank you for our guest that was here tonight. She was a pleasure. So
Yes. Yeah, it was wonderful getting her perspective on CCR and the new CFCR, the California Federation of College Republicans. If you're interested in that organization, you can check out cafcr.com. Do we know? Do they have any? Let me see.
Social media.
Yeah, I'm gonna check their Facebook. Give them a shout out there. Let's see. Yeah, you can go to facebook.com, and it's facebook.com/CaliforniaFCR. So go ahead and check them out. We're very happy to have them on the podcast. I know that Chemo's podcast is one of our most watched. So,
I think it is our most watched.
yeah. So hopefully this one gets some good views as well. All right.
So. All right.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and have a great day.
Yep. Good night. Good evening, everyone, and
Good
join us
night.
again next week.